Morning, ladies and gentlemen, this is Napoleon Toll back again with another Shogun 2 Scramble for the Far East Dutch campaign. We're back with the Dutch, and this is the 5th episode. So yeah, in this scene you can see what happened to the army that we decided to do. I actually decided to fight it on the battlefield, and I didn't show it on screen because what ends up happening is that the enemy just runs at me and they all get killed. But the auto-resolve doesn't look good, so I'm just gonna straight outright do the battle on the field while I'm not showing the battle itself. I'm gonna auto-resolve this one, and it's gonna be kind of sad because I regret it. The funny thing is that I recorded this before, but for some reason I didn't press the record button, so it was just me in my room talking to myself, which is kind of the most stupid thing ever. Without recording, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, I think in my previous recording, well, yeah, I'm just gonna talk to you. At this point, I think I should talk to you about the history of the Dutch. So the Netherlands before the Netherlands before 1851 were part of the Burgundian, Habsburg, and Spanish Habsburg Netherlands. During this time, the Habsburgs, which with Charles V, was just running around all over Europe and taking places like Spain, Austria, Holy Roman Empire, and eventually the Netherlands under their control. In 1581, William I, Prince of Orange, decided to lead a revolt that would overthrow Habsburg dominance in the Low Countries. He decided to help to join buddies with the English, since the English were against the Habsburgs, and they came up winning. Obviously, unfortunately, Prince and King William I was very well, unfortunately for him, William the Silent was a pretty popular king. The downside was that when it was not pretty, his death. He got assassinated by his rivals, the Spanish Habsburgs, and what ends up happening is that the person who assassinated him was literally given the worst punishment that I could ever think of, which is kind of sad. Yeah. But needless to say, the Dutch became a republic in 1581, and after that, with the capital of Amsterdam, New Amsterdam, obviously. They went on to found a colony in North America, which will be eventually taken over by the British. It's called New Amsterdam. Fast forward, they will make a lot of colonial empire building, especially in the Dutch East Indies. In 1795, the Bavarian Republic was restored, or was formed, my bad, not restored. So basically what the Bavarian Republic was that the French were spreading these ideals of republic, and the republicanism and liberty, equality, and stuff like that. Basically, this time was also the French Revolution going on, and basically the Dutch were like, yeah, we're on board with it, and formed the Bavarian Republic. And from 1795, the placeholder, which was Prince William V of Orange, fled to England. But from 1806, Napoleon just came back with an army and was like, hey, Bavarian Republic, do you really want to be a republic? And they were like, nope. And so Napoleon set up, well, obviously, the Dutch didn't really have a choice. Napoleon set up a puppet kingdom called the Kingdom of Holland, and guess who was the head of state? It was Louis Bonaparte. Yes, Louis Bonaparte, the brother of Napoleon. And instead of, yeah. The surprising thing is that King Louis Bonaparte served Dutch interests instead of his brothers, and actually in 1810 was forced to abdicate. Napoleon sent an army into the Netherlands and became part of the French Empire until 1813, which Napoleon was defeated at the Battle of Leipzig, which is kind of funny because you wouldn't expect King Louis Bonaparte to go for Dutch interests, but he actually did. So, yeah, kudos to him. I keep imagining that if one day that Louis Bonaparte was the king of Denmark, sorry, not Denmark, king of the Netherlands, he actually would be a pretty good king. But from, yeah. Because of his short rule, I don't really know much about his leadership skills, or, yeah, skills as a king. But that said, If for those who don't know, please comment please comment below, and we can talk about it. After that, after 1813, the Oranges, the William family, was brought back, and yeah, during this time, the Belgian Revolution occurred. So basically, the Belgian Revolution was like Belgium decided to revolt during and the Prince of King William the First, the Prince of Orange, decided to crush it. Obviously, this is not the same William as William the First. Now, I was just talking about at the start. This is Prince William the First, who reigned from, if I'm not, 1815 to 1840, and this guy basically what happened was the Belgians decided to form their own country. And William the First was like, no, and he sent in the army, and for the first time, but at first, the Belgians were doing quite well against the Dutch until Prince William, the Duke of Orange, the Prince of Orange, the exact same Prince William, the Duke of Orange, Prince William, the Prince of Orange, from the Battle of Waterloo. He was on the Dutch side, and he decided to ride in the battle and actually beat back the Belgians. It was until Marshal Gerard, yes, that same Gerard that Napoleon sent with Grouchy at the battle to hunt down the Prussian army, with Grouchy at the Battle of Waterloo, or the 100 Days campaign. And obviously that went well for Grouchy and Gerard. They actually did quite well against a separate Prussian army, but at that point it was too late to save the situation. But anyway, the Prince of Orange actually made massive land gains in Belgium, but when Gerard arrived with the French army proclaiming that he wants to support Belgium, it was not, the Dutch backed down. And France from this time was during was the July Monarchy, which was under King Louis Philippe the First, and yeah, it was, yeah. Anyway, the Dutch backed down and Belgium became a country, so that's unfortunate for the Dutch. But the good thing for the Dutch, still, they had a massive empire. How massive? Their empire have lands in actually no, they had a lot of lands across places in South Africa. As of this point, as of recording, which is 1858, they had lands in South Africa. They had lands in Sumatra, Java, Formosa, not anymore in Formosa, but Papua New Guinea. All these provinces in the East Indies, as they would be called, they still have much influence in those areas. They used to have even more provinces, considering the fact they had lands in India, not with the with the VOC, the Dutch East India Trading Company, and the Dutch India Company, I think. They also had lands in modern-day Brazil, which the Portuguese just took, and not to mention the lands that they had in North America with New Amsterdam, but the British took it, so yeah. The British actually would take a lot of lands, especially most of their colonial possessions in India, and not to mention their colonial possessions in Java and, well, Sumatra and places like that. Sumatra and, yeah, and all these places will survive until the Japanese came in World War II, and after that, stuff went down for the Dutch. But that said, things were pretty good for the Dutch in terms of empire building, considering the fact that they had so much land. They were quite small for their how should I say it, the size. But that said, back to the campaign. We're actually gonna have we're actually gonna have a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, well, we're actually starting to chase the Satsuma army around for a long time until the end. More than around 20 minutes into this video, we're not going to see a single battle, and that's because we're just going to be chasing this enemy army around. But that's that. Yeah. But we're just completing the trade of this trade node, and we're just gonna set our primary tasks straight because we're gonna setting up factories, all that stuff. We are actually upgrading to the next level, so I'm actually gonna be getting. I think I should be getting wooden steamships. So because yeah. I'm actually going to be putting a massive army in Busan. We're going to essentially continue the chase. For now, from what I know, the enemy has disappeared, which is unfortunate. But there is still a Satsuma navy, around. Not that I'm really afraid of a Satsuma navy. I will not be surprised if there's a Satsuma army hiding in in the woods. But this army is going to be invading Takamashima. I'm just not going to be invading Takamashima because I'm waiting for the replenishment. This person is going to be moving to Busan to entertain the nobles, Skeisha. And we're going to end the turn. Oh, I think I was also about to talk to you about the Dutch. The Dutch were our main players at the Battle of Waterloo, and at the Battle of Waterloo and the 100 Days campaign, they were siding with the British after 1813, which the Dutch were kicked out. The royals, the Dutch royals, William the First, returned, and the Dutch during this time, their army was led by the Prince of Orange. Yes, same Prince of Orange that will go down to crush the Belgian revolt that I was just talking about. And he and the Duke of Wellington were able to defeat Napoleon's army at the Battle of Waterloo. Now, there has been a lot of speculation saying that the Dutch were poor soldiers, and they almost cost the British the battle, and they were terrible soldiers, whatever, etc., blah blah blah. In my mind, considering the fact that the Dutch were fighting for the French in all this time before 1813, and now they've just been pulled and conscripted to fight with the British. And the fact that they wore blue uniforms, which they were mistaken for the French, and sometimes, I kid you not, got fired upon by the British. I consider that the fact that they were able to fight with the British, very interesting, considering the fact that they got friendly fire by their own troops. Their cavalry got, in some of the sources that I've been reading, some of the Dutch cavalry who were wearing blue were thought to be French cavalry by the British infantry, and they were fired upon by the British infantry, British cavalry. They were fired upon by the British infantry. They lost their horses. Their horses ran away, and the British counted them as quote-unquote casualties. And the reason why they counted them as casualties is by the British army. If you didn't have your horse, you were a casualty. Which is kind of funny considering the fact that there were a few British troops, British cavalry, that they had lost their horse. They were not fired upon by their enemy, and for some reason they perform worse than the Dutch cavalry. But that's that. Also, fun fact, during the Napoleonic Wars, Napoleon would have a unit of Dutch lancers in his Imperial Guard. They wore red, and for those that play Napoleon Total War, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's that. The Dutch and the British kind of won. The Dutch and the British won at the Battle of Waterloo. The Dutch was Prince William I of Orange was restored to the Dutch throne. Was made King of the Dutch. Blah blah blah. And the Belgian Revolt, which I just covered, in which Belgium gained independence. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, William I of Orange, for the rest of his life, until his death, will just keep scorning at the fact that he lost Belgium. And I'm going to be 100% honest, if I were him, I'll be in the same position. But as we speak, we're just chasing the Satsuma army around. I was deciding whether to send my Luxembourg infantry with my cavalry to chase this Satsuma army, but I've decided not to. I'm actually going to send agent down south, and this is going to be the end of my agent. Spoiler alert. I tried to harass him, but it doesn't work. And yeah. At this point, we're past the 16-minute mark, meaning that in a few more minutes, there's going to be a battle, and I'm not going to spoil where the battle is going to occur. But I think most of you can already guess where. This army is actually going to move into Nagato, but after seeing there's a massive army of the Satsuma, I'm actually going to pull back. It's not that I think that my army isn't capable of dealing with a Satsuma army. I'm actually kind of scared that there's one army that is outside of the castle and there's another army inside of the castle, meaning I have to fight two armies. And as I expected, I'm going to retreat. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, the Takamashima wants peace. If I'm not mistaken, the Russians destroyed the Qing. They might be moving into Korea, which means, and by the way, Korea is one of the places in which we have to invade in order to win this campaign. So I'll be definitely sending troops to Korea to invade Korea. But every turn that we waste is essentially another day that the Russians get to run across Korea. I don't know how Korea will be doing against an AI, but considering the fact that China was the Qing is way better than Korea, and they still lost against Russia. No offense. Things do not look for Korea. Things do not look good for Korea. The good thing that one of the things that is good for Korea is only at the start of the game. They have one of the best archer units. They have a pretty terrible sword unit. I'm not gonna lie. They have literally terrible gun units. And yeah. But they do have an advantage in the fact that they have a lot of provinces. 11 if I'm not correct. No, 10 if I'm not mistaken. But yes, that's their only big advantage. I'm actually going to send one ship back because I think my army in Asumi is ready to invade Takamashima. So yeah, we're just gonna end the turn. And at this point, I'm fearing that the enemy navy is gonna attack my one ship. And Lord and behold, speak of the devil, the enemy is here. I really like the scenery off the bat. We're actually gonna be firing cannons at the enemy from my sloop. And obviously these are not canister shot, these are just regular shot, and they're just going to be tearing away at the enemy ship. They're not going to be doing a lot of damage because this is not canister shot, and solid shot are actually terrible against enemy ships. We are actually going to be opening a canister shot at close range against the enemy fleet. Because we're at so far away, we don't start a fire. We momentarily start the fire, but the enemy ships pull it out. But the enemy crew puts it out. Now at this point, we're just going to be circling each other. If this was a naval battle with European ships, I'll be in trouble because there is 3 enemy ships, one of mine. But the enemy at this point is just going around firing bows at me. And I'm just playing along with their game by just circling around them, and they're circling around us, so we're going in a circle. But the difference is that instead of bows, I have canister shot, and we're just going to rip through enemy ships en masse, while they're just going to fire arrows at us. Also, another thing is that I really like this mod for all the detail it has put. Like, this could be very much a Victoria 2, Total War. If Victoria 2 doesn't pull out, I'm just going to be calling this Victoria 2. Victoria Total War. Because this is very amazing. Another thing that I've been debating is whether... I'm deciding to do, what do you call it? Entire world domination game for one faction. Obviously this faction has to be the exact same because it wouldn't be world domination if you have different factions going world domination. But that said, because this mod already has Carlos, which is Spain. We have Japan, which is Scramble for the Far East, and China, which is also part of Scramble for the Far East. We have Korea, which is also part of Scramble for the Far East. And to make the situation better, we do have a lot more places that are going to be coming out. One of them is going to be Italy, and we're also going to have Algiers. Carlos, which is Spain, is already in alpha, so I can potentially do that. But I'm just gonna be waiting for a while. After it comes out to be good, actually no, it's gonna be good because it's by Izzy, the modder. So it's gonna be very good. But the second Scramble Carlos comes out, I'm just gonna be playing Carlos, and I'm just gonna be enjoying Carlos. I'm gonna make the world domination, in which that I'll do a country, the same country for every one of those campaigns. Yeah, and I hope I enjoy it. But in order for that to work, I literally have to make sure. I literally have to make sure to take everything, like every single province on the map, and then, yeah. But back on this side, we actually opened fire to cancel round on this Nihon Maru, which actually is going to set the Nihon Maru on fire. A smaller ship is going to be chasing our sloop of war, and we're just going to turn around and open fire with canister really soon. As a matter of fact, it's going to be right now. It's going to be set on fire, but the crew puts it out, and in a few seconds you're going to see how they put it out. Because the crew is so close to the water and the fire are actually going to just put out the fire really quick. And fortunately for us, we actually are able to get a few dudes dead. But as you can see, we are actually targeting the Nihon Maru again, so that the Nihon Maru is just going to be set on fire. We're going to actually open fire another canister round from our guys, and we're at this point going to destroy the enemy ship, the smaller one. And after that, we're just going to park our ship next to the Nihon Maru, and we're just going to fire onto the Nihon Maru until this thing, the Nihon Maru, burns to death. which is a lot harder than you think, considering the fact that... Oh, actually no, it's a lot easier than you think, considering the fact that Nihon Maru is this massive ship. But anyway, we destroyed another Nihon Maru fleet. This time it's 2 ships. Last episode it was quite a lot. But if you want to see me battling an entire Nihon Maru fleet with 1 ship, watch the last episode. The last episode has me fighting an entire Satsuma fleet with 1 ship. At this point, we're just going to continue chasing the enemy. For some reason, that enemy unit disappeared, so that's a good thing. We're gonna train troops, but you're gonna see the demise of this poor dude right here. But I'm trying to get my guys to board the ship, and we're gonna be going into Takamashima. I think I did a little bit of a misclick right there, and we actually are going to be attacking the port, whereas I wanted to land my fleet, land my army, and attack Takamashima, but yeah, that's unfortunate. But I'm going to have my other military advisor train the troops, and I'm actually going to be start building a lot more ships. And actually going to be upgrading my ports and building more ships. A Corvette, 24 gun Corvette. That's interesting. I'd rather get sloops with 26 guns. Not that those 2 guns behind us are useful. Actually, it actually can be useful sometimes, and the stats are pretty much the same. It's just that one costs cheaper and the other costs more. But we're gonna end the turn. And to my horror, this geisha is gonna distract one of my military advisors, and this military advisor will actually join the enemy. Like at this point, I really think spies need to be nerfed, because that was a geisha, and if the enemy had ninjas, military agents, they'll be killing my generals, and there's nothing I can do against the death of the general. Because almost every time the enemy attacks you, you are almost 85%, 75%, 85% going to be guaranteeing that you're going to lose a general or something's going to happen to you. Whereas getting a general is not only takes a long time, it also you also have to upgrade the general, which does mean that yeah, it's going to take actual battles, and after that you really have to wait until your general gets leveled up, and after that happens, you just have to pray that your general doesn't get killed by a ninja or a military advisor. So that's really unfortunate. This army is going to be stacked, going to get some Luxembourg infantry, so that's going to be good. And I'm going to see if this cavalry can move into this army. But I decided not to, not as of right now. I'm going to put the remaining infantry in Busan. With the remaining infantry in Busan. And we're actually gonna put the remaining cavalry in Busan too. Down south, I think I'm gonna land my army. And we are actually well within range of the Takamashima camp and their army, but yeah, that's interesting. But that's it. That is it for this episode, guys. Have a great day. I'm gonna end the turn, and I'll see you in the next one. Now before you leave, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video. I would be honored if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, more videos are coming out, so it is a good idea to click on that notification button. Anyways, have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.